Hello, I'm Brownie and welcome to Brownie at the Movies. Tonight we're going to be talking about Prometheus. Excuse me a sec. Prometheus is a prequel to the Alien series of films started by Ridley Scott in the 70s, continued on by James Cameron and some other hacks throughout the 80s and 90s. Prometheus is more of an expansion of the world Alien took place in, and less of an epilogue or direct continuation of the original Alien story. It features Noomi Rapace, Michael Fassbender, and Charlize Theron. As far as the story goes, it's your basic sort of space adventure involving basic sort of time travel, spaceship adventure, different planets, aliens, all that sort of thing. You got, your classic sci-fi tropes of spaceships, space travel, frozen time dilation in space pods, and ancient civilizations leaving clues on Earth and all that sort of thing. The story's great, the script, it's got a few flaws, but it's alright. And this is by far, in a way, probably the best sci-fi movie that's come out since, I don't know, like Moon or something like that. It's sophisticated, it's not perfect. The script, it's very sort of 1980s, people sort of doing these very 1980s sort of things, very stupid things, like running down corridors, towards danger and saying the stupid things that get them in trouble. And it's a good mix though of CGI, modern filmmaking, and more sort of 70s, 80s handmade sort of techniques, which I think comes together really well. I was really impressed with the set design. The costumes are all right. Just the basic production design of the thing is very, very shiny and very. It's a good mix between sort of the shiny modern era, sort of bridging the gap to what is a sort of dirty, used H.R. Geiger kind of, thing that was started with the original Alien movies. I feel that this movie will probably be better remembered in the future than it was reviewed. A lot of people had sort of negative reviews of this film because they were sort of comparing it to Alien, which they hold to an unrealistic standard. I mean, people say the script is stupid and the characters aren't particularly fleshed out, but I mean, you look at the characters in Aliens, I mean, most of them die before you get to know anything about them. People have a tendency to sort of remember great movies of the past in a way which might not actually coincide with reality. I mean, they hold them up on a pedestal and seem to forget the bad things about them. I mean, Alien was not a perfect film. It was great for the time. I didn't even enjoy it that much the first couple of times I saw it. I mean, it's grown on me since then. But, I mean, it's a good movie, and so is Prometheus. I think you can't hold these things up to an unrealistic standard. And we've got things like Transformers being the only scientific science fiction competition for films in the genre. It definitely stands out as one of the better science fiction films of late, and so far probably one of the best films of 2012, even though we're not that far into it. I think that it's very important to remember that sometimes you need a bit of chased around by aliens sort of B-movie feel. Even in a big budget, sophisticated thing like this, that can work really well if you know how to do it. And Ridley Scott has always been the go-to guy for that kind of mess. So I'm a fan. At the end of the day, it's not the best sci-fi I've ever seen. It's definitely not the worst. I'll probably give it, because I'm not even that big a fan of the Alien series. I think I'll probably end up giving it like an A-, or something like that. Because I mean, I'd give it an A flat, but there's a couple things in the script, wasted characters. I mean, Charlize Theron could have gone into a bit more detail, but it gets an A just for Michael Fassbender and his performance as David, because I mean the robots from Lance Henriksen to Ian Holm have always been the most interesting portrayals of characters in the Alien series. That's what I really dug. That's what I was really into. I was looking forward to something, and I got a great performance from Michael Fassbender there. So I'm always more interested in seeing the robots than the humans, especially Numi Rapace's boyfriend, the scientist, so-called. I mean, he's not much of a scientist, removing his helmet in an atmosphere that hasn't been decontaminated and could have all sorts of alien pathogens. I mean, you have to be a certain kind of stupid for that sort of thing. I mean, it really frustrated me that she seems kind of interesting and she was with this guy. I mean, come on. He's an idiot. And quite frankly, when he got immolated, spoiler alert, it was really enjoyable. I like watching him burn to death because, quite frankly, he's a waste of space, and I think Numi Rapace can do better. Of course, that's just one bear's opinion. Call me Numi. Yeah. Anyway, at the end of the day, it's a great movie, great night's entertainment, and I think all the people who were unsatisfied with the film, it might be because, you know, it doesn't give you all the answers that you seek, but that's a sort of a tradition of 70s, 80s filmmaking. I mean, they don't give you all the answers. You got to figure some stuff out for yourself. You got to use your noggin a bit. You got to use your imagination, and I think that's a good thing. I think we need more of that in today's filmmaking. So I'm definitely giving it a solid A minus. Looking forward to whatever Ridley Scott wants to do with it in the future, if he chooses to direct or hand it off. I'll be keeping an eye on it. I'm more interested in Blade Runner. As I say, the robots have always been more fascinating to me than the people. So seeing what he does with his proposed Blade Runner 2 sequel, I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, great movie, great cast. Bit of a wasted opportunity with Charlize Theron and her relationships with the other characters, but you know, I mean, it's written by Damon Lindelof, who's an expert in, you know, writing that goes absolutely nowhere from his time on Lost. So, I mean, I guess some of that you just had to expect at the end of the day. But it's a good movie, good solid film. I give it an A minus. I recommend you go see it. Top notch.